Well, everybody, it is official. The prices of Xbox Series consoles have gone up. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cybeam, you idiot. This happened like 4 months ago in May. Okay, get up with the times. Stay informed. Okay, this is like yesterday's news. Well, unfortunately, this is in addition to what happened in May. Okay, yes, I regret to inform you there has been a second painful price hike. Yeah, this ain't a good time to buy an Xbox console, and that's just my opinion, of course, but yeah, prices have now gone up twice in like a 4-month time span. So here it is today, September 19th. This is from Xbox.com. US console pricing updates announced. Now, I do want to mention that this is just for the United States. It's not for the entire world. It says beginning on October 3rd, and that is exactly 2 weeks from today, we will update the recommended retailer pricing for Xbox Series S and X consoles in the US due to changes in the macroeconomic environment. We understand that these changes are challenging and they were made with careful consideration. Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen and providing value for Xbox players. So the only explanation they give for this price hike is something kind of vague, where they say, quote, due to changes in the macroeconomic environment. Now we'll get into my theories on that in a bit, but it's obvious this has something to do with the economy, whether it is just in the US or just in general, the world economic situation and Microsoft's position in that. So getting a little bit more specific, they say beginning on October 3rd. Again, we'll update the recommended retailer pricing for Xbox Series S and X. Now they say pricing for controllers and headsets will remain the same, and pricing for products in all other markets will remain the same, so that would be markets outside of the US. And yes, it sounds like all Xbox accessories, or I guess I shouldn't say all, but specifically for the controllers and headsets, those are all going to remain the same. Now, getting obviously way more specific here, this is the actual price chart that is going to begin 2 weeks from today. The cheapest retail Xbox console is going to be $400. Yeah, the Xbox Series S, 512 gigabytes is going to be $399.99. And going down the list and rounding up, the Xbox Series S 1 terabyte is going to be $450. Xbox Series X digital is $600. Xbox Series X non-digital is $650. All the way up to the Xbox Series X 2 terabyte, and it's called the Galaxy Black Special Edition. I'm not really sure what that includes. I assume the big feature is just that it is 2 terabytes, but maybe I'm wrong. But that is a whopping $800. It looks like right now on Xbox's website it's selling at $730, rounding up. So yeah, that edition is going up $70 all the way to $800. So for the theories on why this is happening, there's definitely a few of them. I think the most obvious one is the tariff situation in the United States. Microsoft gets a lot of its parts for Xbox consoles from China and I believe a lot of other overseas countries, but mainly China. And there's tariffs on China right now, so it is just going to cost more on average to make an Xbox console these days. Why specifically this is happening 2 times in a 4-month time span, that I really don't know, because to my knowledge, I think the tariff situation right now is the same as what it was in May. So that's the most obvious theory, but I would say the most likely situation is that it is a combination of a bunch of these theories. So it could be the tariff situation, but it could also be inflation. A lot of people are talking about that. Just general inflation throughout the US and the rest of the world. Prices are going up. It's unfortunately just the way things go sometimes. Another theory is that this is further bridging the gap of the subsidy that Microsoft allegedly provides for the Xbox consoles. If you didn't know, it's a very common theory that not just Xboxes, but also PlayStation consoles and I think even Nintendo consoles, those are all allegedly sold at a loss, and it's all just to make the consumer kind of buy into the rest of that game console's marketplace. So say it costs $400 for a certain line of Xboxes, but maybe it costs $650 to make each console with all the parts and the labor. Well, if you're raising it from $400 to $500, you're just further covering that gap or that subsidy that Microsoft has to account for. Now, the only other theory that I have seen is that this could be a sort of strategic positioning, and what I mean by this is that Microsoft, they may, for whatever number of reasons, be planning on in the future having another rise rise in the prices of consoles. Again, this is of course just a theory, but say this is the case. Well, then if that's true, say there's going to be a price hike that they are planning on, a year and a half from now. Well, then if they get this price hike out of the way now versus 6 months from now, it'll seem less crazy, 1.5 years ago when they do that price hike. Now, that theory I'm not as confident in. I think there are a lot of different factors that go into Microsoft or any other company increasing the price of their console. So I don't know if they really would have a specific plan of, there's a certain time frame of when we're going to have our next price hike, and maybe I'm wrong, but overall it's very likely that this is due to a number of reasons. But overall, consumers are definitely not going to be happy about this, and in my opinion, they absolutely should not be happy about this. This Xbox Series console lineup, it's like 5 years old at this point. The prices should absolutely not be going up when we are 5 years into this console. I've said it before and I will say it again. In my opinion, this is just the, I won't say the worst time, but it's definitely a very bad time to want to buy an Xbox. But who knows? Microsoft, they are consistently successful, so maybe there is just some bigger meaning to all of this that I'm not seeing. I don't know, but for right now, this is something that people are not going to like. Xboxes have gone up again in price the second time in 4 months.